the workforce to support it. And so it's kind of this vicious cycle. So we got to crack it somehow.
Definitely.
And so if we can
Definitely.
start creating some solutions for affordable housing, I think it's going to create that shift that's going to start opening up more doors. So I think so far from what we've learned from talking with Kim, she's the city planning director, and all the meetings that we've been to with city council and everything, that R1 designation that you have is slightly more restricted than like if it was R2 or R3 or even a commercial. But at the same time, like we were saying, because California is starting to become really aware of really it's a housing crisis, and it's not just here in our area, it's everywhere. So they're trying to start opening up avenues because they know that this is a major problem happening. So even with the R1, from our understanding, is you can do the ADU, like we just talked about. And in addition to that, like you said, the ADU maybe to serve for your daughter who has the developmental disabilities, but then to facilitate a caretaker as well, you could potentially have what they call a junior ADU attached to the main structure, right?
Yeah,
So that could,
great.
yeah. So it's like an in-law suite or converted garage, something like that. That could be like a junior ADU that's smaller, but like an efficiency studio type apartment, right? For the
Yeah.
caretaker, and then your daughter have the ADU, and that even on an R1, from our understanding, would be allowed.
Okay. Okay. And do you guys know, and this might be a better question for the planner, but do you know in Mount Shasta, when you build a separate ADU, does it have its own address?
That's a good
That's a
question.
good question.
Never heard that question.
That I feel like maybe it does, but more like on a unit basis. But that's something we would need to confirm. And
Yeah,
Kim would be
and
able
Kim's
to
awesome.
Yeah, Kim Fowler.
Okay.
She's the
Is
planning
she
director.
new?
Yeah.
I feel
Yes.
like there's a different
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
She's new.
The guy that was doing it, he retired. He moved
Okay.
on to something
Yeah.
else this year, just this past year.
Kellogg? Is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Okay.
he
Okay.
was
That's
super.
the name I dealt
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
when we first bought the property.
And
I'm
he
like,
was
what do you
great
do?
too. Yeah.
He's
But
great.
Kim is new, just this past year. Kim Fowler.
Fowler.
Fowler. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And she's really excited and passionate about affordable housing
Big.
and all this stuff too. So she's
Huge.
if there's a way that she can figure out how to get you to where you need to go, she's going to direct you in the right place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grounded
Yeah,
and passionate.
It's having, the disability aspect of it. It's definitely been interesting kind of coming into the community and trying to make
Right.
different connections
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Right.
Slowly trying to like connect with other people that have kind of the same, interests or same needs.
Yeah.
Right.
Too. So I'm on the community advisory committee for the Siskiyou County Special Ed.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
okay, cool.
So I'm, trying to make some connections that way, but I haven't met anybody in Mount Shasta
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Most of them have been like up in Wairika or like East County.
Yes.
Right.
That makes sense. So I guess then was something that would be helpful for us to understand from you, given you're in this, so you understand the ins and outs because you're experiencing it firsthand. As we're getting this movement rolling and we're getting interest now from people who want to maybe get put on a wait list, and we're trying to help coordinate and connect dots to facilitate as many people and their needs as possible. So this is kind of one of these first conversations we're having about this specific need. So from your standpoint, what would be really, details, what would be the most important things to think about? Were we thinking like more addressing ADA compliance, or are there certain building requirements, or what kind of needs in particular would be helpful?
Yeah, and I think that's a really broad question within the disability community.
Because it's such a range.
Right.
It's such a range.
Right.
Yeah.
And so my specialty is developmental disabilities, and more specifically non-speaking autism.
Oh, okay.
So my daughter's 15 and she's a non-speaker and she's learning to communicate with a letterboard.
Okay.
So, she always needs some sort of regulation support. But she's also very capable to do things on her own too.
Right.
As far as like taking care of herself and,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. But she's always going to need some sort of support with her. So, she's fully ambulatory, doesn't have ADA, compliance needs from, a mobility standpoint, but more of an access of how she can communicate with others around her.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
which is a totally different spin.
It totally, yeah.
Very
So,
unique.
Community.
so it would be probably helpful for us too to connect maybe with some of the people that you're connecting with through the board that you just mentioned that you're working on. As far as, are there things that are more commonly needed in the community, as far as amenities and that kind of thing that would serve the broadest range of people that have special needs, right? I know that's different. Obviously, someone that can't get around as well, their requirement might be no stairs, versus, somebody else, they have a more specific requirement. But what kind of things could we try to implement that would help the greatest number of people?
Well,
No, and I think my kind of on my list this year is to connect with somebody from the Siskiyou Opportunity Center, and then also Far Northern Regional Center.
Okay.
They should both have some really good information about the disability community and kind of what the needs are up here, because I'm still learning too.
Oh, yeah. Welcome.
What's
Yeah.
available and what's needed.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome to that learning curve club.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's how life is, like we can't all be experts in everything.
No.
There's so many details. So that's why it's really helpful.
Everybody has their own little
Yeah.
language of
Yeah.
what they call things.
Yeah.
And so it's just learning how to speak their language.
Yeah.
And making sure you're on the same page.
Yeah.
Also, one of the needs for sure is staffing, housing, the support care, the people that licensed or they got the experience, but the income, like you said, or the housing for the caretakers.
Yeah.
And so if we can move into those directions, for example, the city has like big needs with emergency services, like our police officers and our fire department and our traveling nurses and other things that's essential emergency services. Again, staffing, again, vacancies, again, housing, again. You might be a police officer that works here in Mount Shasta, but you might live in somewhere else, far away from where you work because of pricing. The average house out here is a little bit spendy. And so, in my little tiny head right now, it's like, what if we had a small tiny village? Because you can put up to 9 tiny houses on wheels on a parcel. So that just passed. And so what if we had a small tiny village for emergency services personnel that's in town, that's close to working? And so I'm saying the same thing. Like, what if we had 9 for staffing, for this type of staffing housing to help with this situation? And I think we're talking about the right thing, especially with Kim, with your house, and then your permit to go get a junior ADU for your garage, to redo that into a staffing housing, and to ask him if tiny houses on wheels in residential 1 can be used as an ADU.
Right.
Because I think you can in residential 1, but just double check.
Yeah, I think
reading that.
Yeah.
So, but then again, like, I'm still kind of like learning as I read through this stuff. I'm like, I think this is saying this.
It is.
So yours, you wouldn't, R1, so yours wouldn't qualify for the
Multiple.
the village of the 9 tiny houses.
Unless you rezone it.
Right, unless you rezone it, which might actually also be a possibility.
Especially with all the land behind you.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. There's, also a possibility, because if you're right up against another property that's zoned differently, there might be a way to have them rezone you.
So if you're commercial, keep going.
Right. So, right. Or if the neighbor next door is R2, then
Yeah.
you might be able to have
Yeah.
them just rezone you as R2.
Yeah.
That could be an option. But what I was saying is you can do the other thing that we just said without having to do any of that
Right.
already, which
Right.
for your
Good low-hanging
situation
fruit.
might be the best
It'll
option.
suffice with what you probably need.
Right.
With the lowest hanging fruit.
Exactly.
Junior ADU for your garage for the staffing, and
Mhm.
then double check with Kim, but residential one, I'm pretty sure you just get a permit for an ADU just like normal.
Mhm.
We've heard that there's some financing out there.
Yeah.
Options
Yeah.
where if you had something like 45,000 or less, there's zero down payment for some of these tiny houses on wheels.
Mhm.
There's insurance companies that view tiny house on wheels just like an RV, so you could get you could get insurance on the tiny house. And the best insurance for fire insurance is hitch that thing and deuces.
Yeah. Just
Get out.
Get it out of there.
Throw it out and
Right?
then come back.
Yeah.
But then also take a look at there is special zoning things that just
Mhm.
passed where what are you next to? And so if you are next to an R2 or an R3 or a commercial 1 or 2, you can also rezone you in the future to match whatever's next to you. And if you do get into residential 2 and 3,
then you could do the
then you
village.
could do up to 9
Yeah.
tiny houses in your backyard with 3/4.
3/4 acre.
That's plenty of tiny
a bit of
houses
space, yeah.
for a future project.
So that's something to consider. Whatever makes the most
Consider.
sense for your family.
Options.
Right.
And double check with Kim.
Yeah.
She's super big on it. She loves it.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So just so I'm on the same page, so it sounds like the R2 and R3 are the village
Yeah.
zoning.
Yes.
And talk to me about the commercial zoning.
Commercial also. Commercial 1 and commercial 2 also would allow for that tiny house village up to 9 tiny houses.
So again, you just got to check who's your neighbors and what their zoning is, and then there's a special zoning, probably application or like a hearing. I don't know what it is, but there is a way to redo it.
Yeah.
Paper.
Yeah,
trail.
there is.
Yes, and then they
Kim
would. I
probably
think.
know.
I think it has to get like approved through planning commission or something like that. But again, they're seeing the housing
need.
crisis, and so they are as much as possible trying to push things forward and not put up extra roadblocks, which is kind of a miracle for government.
Yeah.
Put up roadblocks.
Because they're figuring out that they're dying, really. There's not enough
Right.
property taxes. Our
Mhm.
baby boomers are leaving, which
Yeah.
equals receptivity.
Yeah.
And when we want to modify and change to get families in instead of everyone going out, they're
Yeah.
becoming a lot more
They're being more accommodating.
receptive. And so also,
Fantastic.
yeah, which is fantastic timing.
Yeah.
So for your staff and for your daughter,
Mhm.
those are the easiest low hanging fruit that you should tackle first, and then keep in the background. And somewhere in the future, whether low hanging fruit, junior ADU with a garage, or a tiny house on wheels as an ADU
Mhm.
outside,
Mhm.
we would love to be a part of it, so
Yeah.
that we can share that story, so that we can get more people to understand that there's a lot of people that might be renovating the garage, but it's not a junior ADU permit.
Right.
They might be doing a permanent ADU because they don't know that you could have a tiny house on wheels as an ADU and roll out
Right.
when there's fire.
Right.
And especially special zoning, switching it from commercial next door neighbor or residential 2 and 3 and rezoning you.
Mhm.
If there's a planning, anything, paperwork or a vote or something in the future, we would love to attend, because it'll inspire other people to know that you can change your zoning.
Yeah.
And you can make a tiny house village in your backyard.
Okay.
And you can staff, plenty of staff. How much people can you staff in the back there? And you would now push the Siskiyou County disability community, because you have all the staff. You specialize in
Right.
staffing for caregivers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What if that was 10 years from now? That would be awesome.
Exactly. And I think it's so important because, as parents age, they're going to need support.
Oh,
as well.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of
Absolutely.
twofold
Yeah.
in that support realm
Yeah.
of, you need a caregiver for the aging parents, but then also a caregiver for the
Mhm.
children.
Yeah.
So Yeah, and I think there's a lot of aging parents in
Plenty.
Siskiyou County with
Plenty.
children that have special needs.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
And you can make affordable housing. Now you have staffing that can come in. Yeah, their income is challenging, but now a tiny house payment is a lot easier
Mm-hmm.
to swallow. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's just a lot more benefits. But you'd become a huge part of the solution in the county for
Yeah.
that topic for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
really exciting. And there's lots of kind of talk within the autism community about, housing as
Mhm.
well. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my mission this year is to get back on track of learning about it and seeing what's out there. And
That makes a lot of sense because there's been a wave, and these children are coming of age. They've become adults, and we have to find ways to accommodate,
Totally.
because like you said, there's such a range of special needs, to
Yeah.
varying degrees. So we do need to be accommodating and figure out how do we handle this, and housing is a huge piece of it.
Yeah, that and our baby boomers are aging in the next
Yeah.
decade or 2 decades max. A lot of them are going to need care staff, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you got two birds at
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
with the same staffing solution.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
For sure.
yeah, you got low hanging fruit,
Mhm.
short term options, and we're probably right most of what we're saying. And you follow up with Kim, and she'll definitely put you in the right position.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe a 5-10 year plan, 5-year plan or something. You might be able to
Add a few
help
of
the
those.
rest of the
Yeah.
county.
Yeah.
We're hoping. That's
Yeah.
what we're hoping. So we're just kind
Yeah.
of figuring out like what makes the most sense
Yeah.
and financially kind
Yeah.
of which direction we need
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
And we're learning new stuff too. So
All the time.
we'll just end up learning each other. But there are plenty of grants to help with foundational,
Mhm.
horizontal, city hookup stuff.
Mhm.
Just a bunch of grants for stuff like this. So
Mhm.
if there's a grant in the future to help with fire prevention housing,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
to help with
There we go.
the staffing for disability, like that sounds like grants
Yeah, it does.
all over the
It
place.
does. It does.
I know they are, and they being kind of the disability community is working on kind of some grants for housing and that kind of thing. So,
Perfect.
I definitely will kind of keep my ears out
Yeah.
out there and share.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great too. And if you stumble across anything like that we should be aware of, that
Yeah.
you want to put on our radar, definitely reach out. Because we're trying to connect all the pieces together.
Yeah, and we would
I'm
love
sure
to be
there's
with
lots
you.
of moving pieces.
Yeah.
There are.
There
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
but we would love to be a support system with you.
Mhm.
We're here. We'll probably meet up at Ray's and grocery outlets and Berry Bells and
Grocery outlets.
Pause. Yeah,
My daughter loves going shopping and like getting out.
Nice.
So we always are at grocery outlets.
Perfect. Yeah,
So
that's
if you see somebody that's taller than me and is saying good morning to people even when it's nighttime, you know that.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna stay in touch with. Yeah.
But is the community dinners that you guys do, is it typically people that are looking to move into tiny homes, or is it kind of a mixed bag of
It is a mix.
It's definitely
it is
a
a
mix.
It's some people that really are interested in getting a tiny house. It's people that have a property and they want to put a tiny house, like for a parent or something like that. Or
Just
it's
getting
people that are just
information.
curious about it and they just want to know more. It's some people that are just really into alternative building and construction type things,
Shipping
and
container
they want to
hempcretes.
learn more. Yeah, we have a friend that's really into hempcrete, and so she's really into all these ideas.
There's other people there that's just
Mhm.
interested in the Danco projects, the 24 townhomes. That's for income qualified housing. You
Right.
need to make 45,000 or less, and so
Yeah.
that project over there, they're also
that they're building off of
yeah
lake or
yeah
over.
yeah it's,
Chestnut.
Okay,
yeah.
Mhm.
I can see it, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
name.
So people are interested in that, or they're interested in the landing down
Right.
south
Right.
past you.
Mhm.
That rental, because
Mhm.
there's the Powers Group that put an intent to purchase the east side, which is the woods, where that cell phone tower, that radio
Like old
station
radio
looking
tower
thing,
Yeah.
the woods.
Uh-huh.
So they want to put 50 units up on that side first, with the option to purchase the one that we know with the construction rental people over there, but that is worker qualified housing,
Right.
which means it's only for workers.
Yeah.
Over here.
So they might make slightly above what the income cap is for the townhomes, but they're still not making a ton of money. But the qualification would be they get like a slightly reduced price, I think, but they have to be working. But which could also be self-employed because
Do they have to be working within the city or within the county?
I think it's the county.
I don't know.
I think it's the county.
To be specific.
Yeah, we got to double check. I don't remember if it was county or city.
There's all these little details and all these. It's easy, but then you're like, oh wait.
No, there's a lot. There's always a lot of
Always
details.
image, right?
But they're always they're talking about multiple public discussions for us to come in and talk with them on what they want, what we want, so that they build it the way we want it.
Yeah.
So that'll be 4, 5, 6 of those probably. And there's just a lot. Like she said, you could be worker qualified, which also means you could set up an LLC, put your PO box at Mount Shasta PO box, employ yourself, and now you are an employee and you qualify for worker-based housing. But if you're retired,
right, then you
and you're not working,
right,
then you are not qualified.
Yeah.
For those housing. So those are all the little things. And so whenever we have these community dinners, we are wanting to get the city councilman, city councilwoman, maybe a city manager, maybe Kim with the planning people to come out and just have a Q&A with the people. We have dinner over there. It's $25 online. It's $30 at the door. The kids eat free. So bring the kids. And yeah, it's just Q&A really. Just eat, break bread, ask every question in the book about everything. We got a general idea, but we're not the city manager that gets paid $100 to do this full time.
Exactly. Sometimes it's just about planting seeds.
Yeah, that's where
well,
we're
that's
at.
too
That's
the last
anything, but
yeah.
Right. The last dinner that we had one of the councilmen came, and then now since he's been appointed the new mayor, so our new mayor was at our last dinner as a city council member, and after that one, he messaged us and he said, hey, I really want to say thanks again. I appreciate you guys putting these on, and I really appreciate you inviting me because I feel like I learned more just talking to everybody than even I was able to answer questions. Because they don't often get that much time to sit and have in-depth conversations with all the community members like that. The city council meetings have a very specific protocol they have to go through, and there's not that back and forth really
clarity.
Detailed conversation.
Yeah.
So I think it's really great for the community, and it's also really great for the members of the council because then they get, like you said, all those seeds planted of, oh, I hadn't thought about that as a need for the community. Let me look into that, or let me see how we can make that happen. And we got to have those conversations and connections in order to move things the right direction.
Totally. Yeah. So
it's a win-win-win. It's we got to just chip away at it. It's only once a month,
Exactly.
So,
with all the other responsibilities.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to try to come up this next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll let you know. We're about to nail down the location, whether it's at the last place that we were at, which is Nazarene Church, which is Old Stage Road area. And we had a tiny house on wheels on site, and we took a tour. And then we're just hearing now that house might have been sold.
The tiny house, I think, got sold.
Which is good, but it might be gone, and we might have to grab another one or
another one. Yeah.
But it's good that it possibly sold, or we can find another neighbor friend.
Yeah.
Or it might be at the Soul Connections upstairs at the event center, and then we try to pull a tiny house in the front parking lot and take a tour. But
this thing.
Yeah. So it's in one of those two locations. We just haven't nailed it down solid yet.
We're trying. We're kind of reliant on the other people involved, and they've been busy with holidays, so we haven't been able to get it commitment yet.
We're gonna get a commitment either by Sunday, or else I'm just gonna make a decision and we're gonna start advertising. Yeah. So
perfect.
We'll get it. We'll figure it out.
Good.
But we'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think I got your cell phone, yeah?
Listening.
Hey!
I've been kind of listening, but when I think about some of these things, I'm like, oh, like like when they build RV places where you have full hookups.
Yes.
In-law,
Yeah.
They go places and they have full hookups.
Yeah.
Plug their RV in. I wonder if there's a way they could build. There's probably a lot involved in that because somehow they had sewage and water and if they had something like that, that'd be ideal.
Yeah.
Right.
Stations,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
and- yeah, but it's just the whole what do you call that? The whole infrastructure.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you gotta.
Right.
They got septic or city or
Yep. That's all part of the ordinance too with the tiny house thing is that there has to be the facilities have to be there for them, right? They have to have water, they have to have power, they have to have the either sewage or septic as of
hooked
now,
up to
right?
city
Yeah.
lit.
It has to be on a permanent kind of pad type thing.
Yeah,
Probably.
the goal with that specific ordinance is they wanted it to be longer term housing, and they really want to facilitate ownership, like a pathway for people to get home ownership because it's become so far out of reach for
gap.
so many people. It's way above what the income levels are here. So they're trying to create ways where it's not short term rentals, it's long term, not people coming in and out.
So for example, if
or whatever.
Yeah.
if the landing came around the corner and there's 50 units going up in about 4 or 5 years from now when it's all complete, what the planning commission wanted, the intent for tiny houses on wheels was people could go get one for 40, 50, 100, whatever you want. There's a budget somewhere. And then you start paying your own tiny house down, and you start creating your own equity instead of paying someone else's rental unit down.
Yeah.
Now you take your equity, and 5 years from now, if you want your own townhome or your own little thing, you can sell your tiny house, pick up 60 grand cash, 80 grand, and that's your down payment for your new worker housing or your new income-based qualified. It's just a stepping stone towards more permanency.
Yeah.
That was the intent. That's why even Airbnbs is not allowed in tiny houses on wheels. With it's a minimum of 30 days.
Yeah.
So there's no day-to-day rentals.
Right.
And so you can feel the intent behind it, that they want long-term generational support. Yeah.
Roots in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just like you're saying with the RV and the towers, the electrical, sewer, the master plan, it has to be like 20 feet away from the fence lines. You can't have your windows facing someone else's window, like hardcore.
Yeah.
You can't stare through people's houses. So it's got to be kind of offset from each other, like little things like that, and then plan it out. So we are super grateful that you have now decided to be the specialist on top of that. You have volunteered, and the whole county blesses you now. Congratulations.
They build like neighborhoods constantly. You figured they could build something with like smaller lots or something like similar,
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a whole hard to.
Yeah. And right now, yeah. And right now the unit is up to 400 square feet. It's a little bit steeper of a roof because of snow load, and a little bit thicker with insulation because of snow load, snow. But just that's your typical. Now, just because something is what it is today does not mean that we cannot modify, go back, revote, and say, hey, the average family is 2 people and 17 kids. And so we need 1,600 square feet. I'm just saying that's what it is today. And then as we fill them all up and we find the average size with the average, or like your area, your staffing.
Yeah.
What's the average staff? I mean, does your average staff only need 200 square feet? Right?
Yeah.
Could you right? Can you just get a smaller tiny home, which is more cost effective, which is zero down payment, whatever? And now you have a nice little community that specializes in that. And then we'll all learn together, and we'll go get some other piece of land and put emergency houses on that, and get another piece of land for single moms with kids. We'll,
Yeah. We have options now. That's what's beautiful.
Totally. Well, thank
Sweet.
you.
Yeah.
I know I could probably talk to you guys all day, but I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Yeah. Well, it's helpful to get, like we said, feedback, and then opening up, new things we hadn't really gone down a path that direction quite yet. So it's always good to get different ideas of which specific communities are going to need this the most, and then we can start trying to build out the network of who specializes in which
Yeah.
things. Then when people come forward to say, you know what, we know exactly who to put you in contact with, these are our people that specialize in exactly what you need, so let's connect you there. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
You can't do everything.
No,
No.
no, we gotta
So
stay in our zone of genius.
So congratulations. We are sending everybody towards you guys
We're creating a network.
for all that.
Beautiful.
I think we have a recording of this. Is this thing being recorded that we can send to you guys as a review?
Well,
Or
it's
no?
just note taking for me, so that
note-taking,
I
okay.
can go back and contact maybe a couple of those people
yeah.
that she mentioned earlier.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Great.
Would you mind if we shared some of your insightful thoughts with others and
Of course.
stuff? Little.
Beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. Like the more
Yeah.
we can connect with others, I think is great.
Awesome.
And the more we can share information, the
Yeah.
better.
Awesome.
It is.
Okay, great.
Well, we'll be in contact. We'll see you
Alright.
guys again.
Yeah, I'll take a peek at where you guys decide to have the
Yeah. We'll let you know. We'll send out text message.
And
We got it.
email if you're on the email list.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're on the email list yet.
We'll get
I
there.
signed up for
Okay.
it.
Great. Okay.
I think I did.
Perfect.
But I'll double check.
Okay.
I got your cell phone. We got Messenger.
Awesome.
Right,
Okay.
and whose cell phone was that? Was that
Oh.
That's
the text
that's
Yeah,
Alpha.
that was me. That was
That's
my
Alpha.
cell phone. Yeah.
at the 808?
808.
It's
That's
a
me.
Hawaii number.
Yeah, save it. Save it.
Yeah.
Text me anytime. Me and Ray. I'll send you Ray's number.
Text is easier to shoot off.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
Perfect.
Same.
All right.
All right, you guys.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
You
Happy
too.
New Year.
Definitely be in touch.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we
Okay. Bye.
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 Well, that was nice and insightful.
Yeah.
All right. Say goodbye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.